Hello. Thank you for joining me. This is our Facebook Live number 16, and I appreciate you joining us in this conversation. Tonight we have a very exciting topic. It's about raising your fees, and which is a very touchy subject in the best of days, and particularly these days, it can be a tricky topic. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rebecca Beardsley. I love what I do. I've been styling hair for over 35 years. So first, before we do anything, as usual, we have a 60-second quiet moment to kind of flush out our day. Just let it go, let it go, let it go, to bring us present. So if you would join me, we're going to do 60 seconds of silence. You can close your eyes if you wish. Put both feet on the ground and palms on your lap, and just tune into your breath. Particularly the out breath. Let go of any tension you might be feeling in your neck, your jaw, and just see if you can give yourself this moment. Okay, thank you. Boy, I could always use more of that. In this conversation about money, I think it essential to say upfront that these are just some ideas. They're not the end all be all in the industry, but I do have some experience with this. And, I think that in the best of times, money is a particularly challenging topic. And when it comes to our self-worth, it is a whole nother conversation. Everything I'm going to tell you is share some ideas, some strategies, which I think will be helpful. But underlying all of it is, if we have baggage around self-worth, it is going to be really hard, no matter what kind of money you make, to ever feel worth what you're making. So you need to deal with that piece first. The internal piece is so important. And I guess from my understanding of the industry so far, 35 years later, is that we don't talk enough about the internal and the baggage we carry into our hair styling practice, into our beauty professional business, into our salons, that our presence and our ability to deal with the baggage that we carry, we all do, where nobody escapes it. So the more we can deal with that underlying self-worth piece, which I do in my coaching, I think that piece has to come first. And maybe they're simultaneous, right? Maybe we can do it as we're working on one, we can do the other. But it's a never-ending process dealing with our issues of self-worth. What I think we first have to do is have an understanding of our numbers. We said it last week with Kanisha Coleman talking to us. She's the beauty CPA, that you cannot understand what you don't measure. So in terms of your expenses, your costs of doing business, everything that it costs you to do business, you first have to understand that. You have to know what that is. That's part of how you understand what you need to make and what your fee should be. It's not just talent. It's not just how booked you are. It is about understanding what you need to make. Once you have an understanding, I'd say an Excel sheet is a great place to start, and just start tracking your expenses. The other piece is you have to understand really your real hours versus your potential hours. So how many hours are you available to work per day? How many days per week? how many weeks per month. So you're going to go in and determine how many hours are you available at the salon to work. So determine that. Then you're going to keep track each day of what you actually work. So did you actually work 6.5? Did you work 5.5? The average hairstylist is probably, working maybe 33%. You need to keep track each day. What are you actually working versus how many hours you're actually available? Say your potential is 8 hours. You schedule yourself to be at the salon 8 hours. Maybe you take a half-hour lunch, but say it's 8 and you schedule a half hour for lunch, so you're actually there 8.5. At the end of Tuesday, at the end of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're actually going to total the numbers you actually worked. If you work 8 hours, your potential was 8 hours, you actually worked 6 hours, then your average day was you were booked 75%. Actually, the industry standard is if you are booked 85% of the time, then it is time to raise your fees. If you haven't raised your prices in over a year, it's time to raise your prices. First of all, keep track daily, weekly, monthly. Track for 3 months and see what number you get. On the average, like I said, most stylists average 33% average of real hours of working. That's way too low. You might look at your retention rate. Are the majority of your clients new versus loyal clients? So how are you going to track that? So I'd say take the last 3 years, take the first 3 months of the year, 4 months, whatever you want to do. 3 months is fine. So take the first 3 months of the last 3 years and write down the clients that you saw. You're going to look at all the repeat clients. You're going to check off the repeat clients. Each client that came in those 3 years, mark them off. So what you're going to do is total them up. How many of them are existing? How many of them are new? Each year you can have 2 columns. Each year, who are new, who are existing, and see what that percentage is. The formula usually is you want to have about 80% of requests to be successful in the business. There is a degree of loyal clientele that you need to carry your business. You want to be about 80% booked. You want about 70% retention. So go through there, figure out your retention. Now, once you've done it and you know what that feels like, you kind of just get it. What you're busy, you're seeing new clients, there's new flow all the time. You want to be competitive. You want to be competitive for your years in the business, okay? It's not just talent. It's how booked are you? How much are you retaining your clients? So important to know. So start tracking that. It is difficult to track what you don't know, so really start informing yourself of what you're doing. Otherwise, it's a lot of wasted time in the studio, right? You want to be clear about what it is you're doing. Most beauty professionals have a basic understanding of what an average service and retail ticket is. However, the basics aren't enough. And some of this actually came from Melee's, this information. This is what they say, to truly earn a better living as a hairstylist, they need to know what their average ticket is and how much they need to increase that average ticket to make their desired income. So you can have your tag for the day, and on it you're going to see Betty and she's getting a haircut. Well, you can write in at the time, well, I actually offered her a treatment, and then I also offered her whatever it is you're going to offer her, or maybe there's another beauty treatment that you're offering her. So you're going to write that in as well, so that the morning you walked in, your day looked like that, and then you offered these add-on services that actually were your actual ticket for the day. So those numbers do add up, and they're really worth watching, but you have to be recording them. And if I've not said it before, I do want to say it. You can't rely on your salon owner it's like great training as an employee to start looking at what you're making, what services you're adding on, what's your retention rate. Don't rely on your salon owner. It's not, I mean, yes, they do it because they need to for business, but if you want to start training yourself to think like a business owner, that's exactly what you need to do. And once you're doing it, you start exercising that muscle. It's very empowering. This is another thing to think about. So say you want to earn, say it's $50,000 a year. The first thing you have to understand is you're earning 50% commission. So that means in order to make 50,000, you need to bring in 100,000 annually. So that's 50% commission on 100,000, right? Is 50K. So if your goal is 50,000 times 2, that's the annual revenue target. So if you work 4 days a week for 50 weeks, we'll give you 2 weeks of vacation, and see 6 clients per day, then you need to have an average ticket of $83.33 per client. If you want to meet that goal of earning 50,000 income, then that's what you need to do. And so that gives you an idea of how to use these numbers, how to make sense of them. If you want to make such and such, you're going to work backwards, right? So what is that target per week? You got to figure that out, right? So say it's $2,000, 50 weeks out of the year. All right. So your daily sales target has to be $500. So divide that by the number of days you work. So your average ticket then would be $83. So you can see how working, macro and then working in. So then you're really detailing what you actually need to make per client. Are you doing what you said you need to do to reach that goal? And it's great setting goals. That way we have a place to work towards and something to work towards. Otherwise, we go to sleep behind the chair. Don't you agree? We can go to sleep because there's just no real goal. We've lost our purpose. We forget. We go into a fog mode. So it's pretty hard to create from that place. A price increase, if it's a huge price increase, that's going to hurt a little bit, right? It's just going to come too much at once. So my suggestion is that you raise a little bit yearly. And that way there's not a sticker shock. And a little bit for the cost of doing business is reasonable. Is it $5? $5 sounds very reasonable, right? A client isn't going to object to $5. If the client is objecting, then they're not seeing the value. And whether that's the reality or not, it's like, hopefully you are giving value and you are increasing your value. If you're raising your fee $5, if your client is not liking that, you can easily refer them to somebody that can take care of them. Is it somebody, a junior stylist in the salon? Or is it a friend that does hair that you can recommend? You're delivering good service. You are in business. It is common business practice. Get used to the fact when you do raise your prices that clients do leave. They leave for many reasons, and one of them is if there's a price increase and they just don't want to pay it. Okay, that's real. We want to respect that, and this is your business, so you have to do what you need to do. And I can say many hairstylists don't charge their value. You may be surprised that some of your clients may say, it's about time that you raise your prices, right? I mean, they love what you do. They can't believe you've been at that fee forever. And so you will see. And I'm telling you, if you're a hairstylist that is booked solid for 3 months, then I would say you need to raise your prices. How do you tell them? What I would say is that I think a note is perfect. If you want to write a note, send it in the mail. You could do it on social media. You can do it via a phone call. You could do it with a note on your station. I would say not taped to the mirror. Just a nice sign in a little picture frame. Just put it there on your station. It's there, they can see it. You can put it in the dressing room, depending on where you are, and if it's you alone or a full salon. So maybe you're just going to have it at your station, and you can mention it as you're working on them. Be direct. It's okay. They will respect you for doing that. Think about how much you want to make. Think about your retention rate. Think about your booking rate. Think about all these things as you factor in what you need to be charging for your services. And I would work backwards. Think of the total per year, and you work backwards all the way down to per client, what you need to be bringing in. If you want to grow in this business, you have to be aware of what you're doing. I wish you all the success that you deserve, and there's no reason you shouldn't be making what you deserve. Please charge what you're worth, but have it be founded in what is real, and you have to be tracking to know what's real. Thank you for staying in the conversation here, and take care. Blessings to you. Bye-bye.